What a domination there from Fnatic in the first map. They do allow FaZe to get a bit of a comeback, but they will close it out 16-10 at the end of the day. Harry, a great matchup, obviously. We go into the second map. This one, a little more unsure about.
Yeah, you know, a lot of that comes down to how we saw Fnatic play yesterday, as well as a couple of strong performances from FaZe. And I feel like, you know, we saw FaZe go to a particularly bad start, as well as Fnatic have a very, very strong start. But I think you'll agree, FaZe picked up, Fnatic, if anything, slowed down towards the end.
Yeah.
I think if we come into this second map on Train with the same form from both teams, then we could see Fnatic just start to edge away early on and then have a great return to form on Train. But, you know, yeah, I do feel like it's very interesting. There's a lot to discuss.
Yeah, obviously we've talked about recent performances and the fact that these two teams played this map at IEM as well. And considering FaZe actually took that away 16-11. That being said, Fnatic were a little bit more off at the time now, at least after this matchup. And recent performance dictates as well, they're looking a little bit more well put together and a bit more oiled as well. And the fact that they actually managed to take away that first map in such a dominant style, at least to kick it off, is quite impressive to see. So, as you say, again, it's hard to say, especially after we saw their Train be quite weak, but usually this is a good map for them. So are we switching our predictions? Are we calling Fnatic? What do you think?
I'm still going to stick with FaZe, sheerly because it does seem, in a lot of senses, it's almost like they're kryptonite on Train.
Yeah.
In the past, historically, whenever we've seen these two teams play, a lot of the time it's gone the way of FaZe. Fnatic, whilst they were having their good run on Train, and they did look to be, you know, like one of these teams where Train is a map that you kind of don't want to be facing them on. At that point, that was when we've seen them take a couple off of FaZe, but since then, I mean, you know, it's always been historically with the core of both of these rosters, FaZe being the ones that do manage to take it. As well as that, it's rain on Train, and you know, he can do exactly as his name suggests, just make it rain. And completely slaughter opposition on that map. It's brilliant to watch him play.
I think another thing to talk about is obviously on Train, the prominence of an AWPer or AWPers over on both sides of the map, specifically the CT side. Both these teams very, very versatile with the AWPers. We see obviously on the side of FaZe, you can see obviously the main AWP on Alu. You can see players like Nico, like Karrigan constantly pick it up. Most of the players on that team have, you know, the ability to use the AWP to a good degree. Yeah. As well, even over on Fnatic, obviously JW to pick it up by normal, but Olaf can take it, Dennis can take it. There's just such a versatile amount of players on that team that can utilize that AWP. So I think that's going to be interesting coming into this matchup. I'm expecting a lot of double AWPs, maybe even on the T side to switch things up. A team that I would say that double AWP on the T side very commonly is a current G2 roster. We've seen them do it so much, and while it doesn't seem to work as much as the CT side, it's still something you've got to take into account. With such a prominence of AWPing power on both these rosters, I think we are going to see some interesting things.
Yeah, definitely so. And I think, you know, based on that performance of what we just saw on Overpass, one thing that we can really look into is just how starting strong for Fnatic is something that at the minute at least is very important to them. Yeah. It used to be something we used to say, you know, they're a very resilient team. It doesn't really matter, you know, you can take Fnatic down a peg and they'll still get back up every time.
Yeah, so many 13-2 comebacks and stuff like that.
Yeah,
that's just Fnatic, isn't it?
But now it doesn't, you know, it seems to kind of be the opposite. They're a lot more, I would say, comparable to kind of a lot of the lineups that, for example, like Kenny S has been on, you know, G2 even, where it's a lot more kind of emotional, a lot more based on like the confidence of it. I don't think it's as emotional, you know. I mean, I would say Kenny S is one of my players who I've pegged as being quite like, you know, someone who, if he's on a roll and he's feeling good, then, you know, you can't stop him. Similarly, Fnatic kind of the same, but theirs is more of a confidence thing. They go into it because, you know, there was a time where they were like the best team in the world, undisputed. And I think since, you know, reclaiming that roster, they still kind of want to go into games with the same feeling. And they're very confident. If that gets, you know, knocked out from underneath them, that's when we see them start to struggle. They keep trying to go for the same confident plays, but it just doesn't work out. Yeah,
that's definitely true. It's interesting to see the kind of evolution of Fnatic alongside, you know, the rebuild of this roster after such a long time apart and split up into different teams. So it's nice to see that kind of continue. We're just going to take a quick look at flashes that you can utilize on Train, though, so you guys at home know exactly what you're doing like the pros.
Hey Future Pros, this flash will aid in pushing out of T-Connector. It will also flash off any AWPer posted on T-Con from Connector. First of all, whack yourself into this corner. Aim anywhere inside of the highlight section, then throw the flash.
Welcome back. So let's talk a little bit about yesterday's performance, right? For those who didn't tune in, G2 played Fnatic. We've mentioned this a couple of times just in a single map, and G2 took it 16-5. We saw Fnatic, as you talked about, with that very confident start, but this time it didn't work out. They went for a lot of silly rounds, they went for a lot of knife kills that they should have probably not have gone for, and it ended in them just getting completely torn apart. Do you think they're going to be bringing the same kind of Fnatic style into this matchup?
Well, I mean, I really hope they don't bring that Fnatic style back into this matchup. It just didn't look good across the board. There was a lot wrong with it. Just the default setup didn't seem to work. And I mean, G2, yes, they were doing a lot to counter that. I feel like, you know, if FaZe have been kind of watching their demos, watching their VODs, then they're going to be more than aware of the default setup that Fnatic were using yesterday and the holes that there are in that. It took them a long time to rectify as well. And I mean, you know, that's kind of primarily, I feel, in due part to them having, you know, the more kind of shaky IGL role where it isn't, you know, it is Flusha kind of making the calls and whatnot, but maybe, you know, not as established as someone who, for example, Pronax, right? But I didn't bode well last time they went with him either. So,
yeah.
But yeah, I mean, coming into this, we did see that they just kept losing out due to aggression in towards Pop. Now, I think that FaZe are a team that aren't, you know, straight to going aggro. They aren't, you know, they're very accustomed to taking things a little bit more aggressively to get the job done.
Yeah.
And that's something I feel like we could see them exploit. Playing a player over towards Pop Dog, going aggro up towards B, trying to spot out frags early on, force players down towards the guy in Pop as well if you have to. And also JW, his trading was abysmal out through A main, just consistently a frag that went the way of G2 yesterday. Will it be the same today? Who knows? Let's see if they can iron out those kinks that they had, but I really hope they can.
Yeah, and I think one thing interesting to talk about as well is one of the setups that Fnatic had that we saw a couple of times.
Yeah.
Na'Vi and SK have also been using this fairly recently, and what it involves is throwing the typical wall of smokes over the A site, having a couple of players over in B main, just at the top, this is on the T side obviously, and then splitting your players down through Pop Dog and rushing in through the smokes, through Connector, and wrapping round in through Connector into B with the push obviously coming down B ramp. And that was quite interesting to see as well, because they were actually bringing in something that we haven't seen for quite a while. I think the last time we really saw that being used a lot was back in 1.6 when you had that extra train down towards Pop Dog, which made it far easier to actually commit towards that kind of push because you were more covered from the open areas of the map. So it'll be interesting to see if they do the same setup into this map, and definitely keep an eye out. I'll be sure to call it if I see it. But we're into the pistol round here. It's going to be Fnatic versus FaZe, and a fast B looking likely.
Yeah, but they do, however, have two players lurking over towards Ivy just to try and keep these players on A and not rotating off immediately the second they see signs of danger on that B site. Olaf going to be there with JW to try and cause a bit of a ruckus. 4 players right now for FaZe on this A site, leaving Keo solo over towards B. And actually the push going to be coming on in. They're waiting to utilize these players as lurks instead of going for the fake. Now the rotate coming on in. They haven't seen any aggression out from Ivy, so they're not going to see this coming. And this is where Olaf and JW can be so deadly. The rotate's going to come through. Fnatic now fall on back, take passive angles with the exception of Dennis, who's just going to be that player to be the thorn in their side, stop the retake coming in incredibly swiftly. JW will be spotted out, however, on the flank. They're not aware of Olaf, though, and he's the player who can make all the difference. Karrigan and Rain are going to be able to find two between them, but this is where he comes in. Okay, he's going to get shut down completely. Karrigan, no, the killer, finds those frags. Crim's going to fall as well, and Fnatic get nothing done.
Well, they get the bomb plant, that's one good thing, but obviously that's fairly easy to get here on the T side, charging in towards B. So FaZe having a completely clean retake there, keeping all 5 players alive. And well, that won't really affect economy, considering that a couple of them are tagged down, so the reinvestment into head armor is going to still be 1,000. That's a really good round for FaZe to actually get back on the board and start things off with the right direction. You talk about how Fnatic need that early start to get the ball rolling, and if they don't, it can fall apart. So now just a couple of PT50s. They will obviously have the buy up into the next round with thanks to that bomb plant, but Kiyoshima, the aggression up towards B, one quick kill, traded by Flusha, but no armor to support that SMG now picked up is going to mean the FaZe should still have a fairly easy time closing this one out, and the addition of 3 rifles will make that just far more easy than they need be.
Yeah, they're taking things slowly. Dennis going to be the player to go pick up that bomb. And Nico, he's just waiting in Pop. Now, this is exactly what we saw MBK doing yesterday in their game against G2. Now, granted, this is just the anti-eco, but I mean, already seeing that prominence come in early on, I feel like that isn't going to be the last time we see this. And it was a bit of a crux for Fnatic. Now they've grabbed this bomb. And they're going to be making their way on through out towards A. Now, Nico's already posted on up here, waiting for the push out through main. Does get caught off guard, but falls back in a relative safety for the time being. The warm embrace of Karrigan there to back him up if necessary, but it doesn't matter. He doesn't need help. Nico going to go ahead and grab 3, just looking to make so much money. Now, Flusha does find 1. Nico's only got 2 bullets. We'll have to reload, looking to try and get the 4th. That's not going to be money farmed up as he will go down. As Flusher going to find 3 frags. So he does a nice bit of damage, in all honesty.
Yeah, they keep 2 rifles out of 3 of them, so that's okay. But good damage, definitely considering they only invested in 4 P250s into that round. But now it's the buy. We actually see the AWP pulled out very early. That's nice to see as well. JW's even going to have armor behind that gun that's dropped over from Flusher, so a good buy into this round. But obviously, as a result, Flusher's now going to only have head armor, which means these M4s are going to be even more lethal. And knowing FaZe with their headshots, they should be connecting an instant bullet into his head if he does overexpose himself. But let's see, as we see a fast play up towards the Ivy. Crim's going to be looking for something. JW as well supporting with the AWP, and Nico, he has his own AWP here. I don't think they're going to expect it so early on into the game, but the SMG kills in the previous round allowed him to buy this one up. He spotted. Both AWPs are known, but FaZe with a very heavy A play right now. 4 players in position, and Karrigan, he's just going to be peeking out here. They could be going for a bit of a boost, but Olof will be doing the counter as well as he spots him out, takes a free kill. Nico positions closely, tries to go for the jump shot, but he will just fall on back with a man disadvantage.
You know, the issue is they've already lost Karrigan over towards Ivy. What this means is the 3 remaining players on A, not only can they not afford now to rotate a player off to B as fluidly as they would like to. Oh, Ollie's going to go aggressive, never mind, does put it back into a 4-on-4, now looking for a second, and actually Dennis just going to offer himself to the gods, goes down as well. No trade frag inside just yet. Olaf still pushing this Ivy control. Nico posted up here with the AWP, takes the peek, misses that first shot. He's not landing these shots with the AWP right now. Pivots around, nearly gets his body just decimated by Crims. Flusher will fall. Crim's going to be swapping out the AWP in favor of the AK to take that initial duel against Ali. Now picking up the AWP once again for these longer range engagements, but it's Olaf to peek out. And actually Nico doesn't see that coming whatsoever. There's only 1 player left over towards A, and he's going to be quickly ducking out, waiting for Keo to rotate round from B. It's a 2-on-2, but this A site given up almost entirely. Keo, the only player who's nearby with Rain, looking to play this safe, coming in with his full HP teammate as a bit of a meat shield. Now wrapping round in through CT. 14 seconds left. The bomb is going to go down, and it's a 2-on-2 for the retake.
No utility as well, other than a smoke on Rain, but he is coming off from a bit of an off angle. They might not expect the CT push back in. As you can see, Crim's going to jump up on the site. This is a great position for Rain to exploit, but his teammates already been knocked out, and Olaf will find the final one as well for Fnatic to finally get themselves on this board. It's going to be 1-2 now, and they keep 2 players alive as well, so not too bad on the economy. Won't build up here on the T side, but they actually still save the AWP, which is going to be positive for them. FaZe, on the other hand, not a lot of money at all. 2 Deagles, while they, or maybe make that 3, while they are lethal, is still not the best kind of buy coming out for FaZe, and one of them not even armoured up onto Karrigan as he drops over that rifle for the hands of Rain. So Fnatic definitely with the better buy here, looking to double down. But FaZe, the reason they're going for this force buy, as some may criticise, as it isn't a lot invested, is they're just simply looking for the reset. If they win this one, it screws over Fnatic's economy big times, upsets the loss bonus, and gets FaZe back into this match.
Flusher and Crims early on over towards B, and JW finds that early frag in middle as well. Now they're going to be picking up that bomb. Dennis watching the push up through Pop Dog that could potentially come into play. Zalu does just currently reside at the bottom of the ladder here, waiting to see if anyone peeks on down. And that's exactly what we want about the other day. While it isn't uncommon to see someone play Pop, I feel like FaZe are going to be utilizing that because they realized it was one of, it was almost, you know, Fnatic's Achilles heel, as it was just that thing that kept coming back to ruin them. But they have taken the early man advantage. They are going to be up against a very impeded FaZe buy. Rain and Ali are going to be the players you really want to keep an eye on. Kiyoshima and Karrigan with the Deagles. Can find some heads though. Now the smokes and flashes. Rain in towards A. Push going to be coming in. And Crim's rotating back. If he makes his way down Pop, Arlu is going to be here to deal with him.
Yeah, really good position here. The issue is the long range won't be great with the UMP, but he can grab the rifle off of Crims. One quick kill. Rain going to support on the site as well. Now they know where Arlu is, but he still has a good position to get some damage done. JW with the AWP. Wallbang onto Rain. And he is low, but the time is ticking away here. JW's just been removed with a deagle, just deleted from the server as Olaf continues his push into the site, but it's Keo to follow up with the rifle. Look at this shutdown from FaZe. It's perfect. The force has worked wonderfully, and they even saved 3 rifles to hold on to the next round. So resetting the loss bonus back again off Fnatic, and now we're maybe even going to see a force on the T side, considering they have a double eco ahead of them. So for them to actually go up, buy some UMPs, buy some deagles, it wouldn't, you know, be a bad decision at all. The thing is, obviously, some of them have about 2k, so they could save and go for a bit of a buy in the next round, but it wouldn't be great. So they're actually going to eco this, actually going to force this one out. And a scout coming in play, the rest of them going to be on pistols.
Yeah, and already some aggression over towards Pop and B as they do try to clear this out early on. You can see that Keo's here. He's been playing this solo anchor role, so he's not going to opt to go aggressive. just holds the angle passively, waiting to see if a rush does come into effect. It's interesting they didn't decide to go B. That makes me think they've got some sort of idea as to what they want to do into this round, because usually on these force buys, you just see the team try to charge into B, get that bomb down, and instead they're trying to take things more slowly, waiting to see if FaZe go aggressive. And of course, with this full buy into this round, they're not going to do that. They're not going to give Fnatic any sort of opportunity to make something happen off the bat. And now we can see that bomb making its way over towards B, looking for this plant. And Ali, well, he's posted up in a great place to deny the initial push in from Rafters. And you've also got Keo on the site, who is playing it fairly passively. Those smokes can be used just to build a bit of a wall and just lock them out the site, which should allow them to get the bomb plant here guaranteed. But they're going to be looking for more than that with this force buy. Here comes the push. Ali going to get the first, and it's going to be a slow push at that, because Dennis just trying to get the refrag with the scout will go down. They've allowed Ali to do so much damage, and it's Keo on the site, still the thorn in their side. Bomb's going to be going down, but he's looking to try and deny it. And it's Alu through the smoke, trying to tag him down. Looking like he was going to go for the knife, but Olaf says no. I'm having flashbacks to the last time we saw knives used over here towards B. Alu will be able to find JW. In the meantime, it's all on Olaf. He's been able to grab himself an M4, and is now looking just to get the hell out of there, hold on to that in the next round, and try to play the Catalyst rifle role. Defuse will come in on the back of a 3K from Alu as they lock down at that B site.
Important to note as well that Olaf will still get the loss bonus there, considering he obviously saved the rifle, but they got the defuse, meaning he actually gets the money alongside his team. So he gets the best of both worlds in a sense. Not the round, but he gets a gun and some money for it as well. As FaZe, they are now going to be up to 4 rounds here over on the CT side. A good start for them indeed, as Fnatic are now left with the rest of them just pretty much ecoing this one. 3 Deagles, a P250, and Olaf going to be the one man to really have to step up to make this one work. He is going to have that saved M4. FaZe looking good. SMG out for Karrigan. That'll be good for the anti-eco. Mop up these armorless players here. And FaZe know exactly what Fnatic's buy is going to be as well. They know they're going to be very, very low, considering they did just shut them down on a force buy. And now Keo peeking out aggressively over towards B upper. Does spot out Dennis. Free kill for him. And no trade so far for Fnatic.
Nico just, cleanly deals with Olaf over towards A. That flank that could have came through just shut down, and actually it looks like JW might follow suit, as he's currently trying to exert some pressure down Ivy. 2 players here though, going to be at the full mercy of these rifles, and he hits the deck as well. Flusher and Crims, the Deagle duo, going to find themselves 2v5, and Flusher looking to try and peek on out, but Keo is watching the angle diligently. Rain finds Crims, and out comes Flusher, emerging from the hole that he only emerges from once every couple of months. And there was a rare sighting. He goes down, poached mercilessly by Kiyoshima. 1-5, 4 rounds to the advantage of FaZe, but now the buy back on the board for Fnatic.
A chance to make this one work. The issue is, if FaZe actually pick this one up, it will be 7-1 before we know it. Because again, Fnatic are going to be forced down to eco without a bomb plant. The loss bonus isn't really built up enough for them to fully commit to a buy even with a bomb plant. Even with those extra $800, they'll only have a $2,900 alongside it, so it's getting quite dangerous late into this game. As Karrigan, he's going to peek out fast towards long. Nice damage. Nade will follow up. That might do a bit, but he actually puts it far too deep. And Olaf gets away with 20 HP as well. Karrigan not even going to back off of this position. He's still stuck over towards Ivy, just looking for this kill. But Olaf, I think he's realised it as the smoke has gone down. He's going to back off. Doesn't want to be charged or sprayed, in fact. So we'll reposition back towards his main area, and Alu following up in the meantime does take down the AWP of Fnatic. Another huge blow to this T side, but Crims, he's going to suck up Nico.
No, but Alu, he's on fire, quick to trade that back out. Down goes Olaf, and now it is a 3-on-4. They're just locked out this A site already. You can see them being a little bit hesitant. No one too eager to push in. Karrigan trying to spot this out from far. Actually does some chance damage out towards Crims, looking for a little bit more, as now he falls on back. In the meantime, though, Dennis has gone aggressive, has been able to sneak on out. Rain didn't spot him on the cross, and this could be important because they think they have info on if players have made it out or not. And, well, Dennis is going to prove that to be very wrong. Nearly spots out this initial frag. Ali's here, he's tagged down low, now looking to try and fall back to the site. It's Dennis to find the first on the Karrigan, but then Ali to return. Rain posted on up, turning away at the back of that flash, and actually still finds the frag regardless. Trade finally comes through from Crims, who's on 2, but he's got to get the 4K for the win. 20 seconds left. He might try and rotate very quickly over towards B, trying to be as silent as he can, but he doesn't know if Pop is clear. Keo's already rotating around, and it might be the mind game. He might have stuck to this A site with only 13 seconds left. He's going to try and get this bomb down. Only Alu here, who's also on for the 4K. And Crims just going to be walking out into the crosshair. No, okay, Alu misses. That could have been huge, but there's no time for the plant anyway. Crims trying to hold on to what he can. Goes in for the peak. Alu will go down. And he does at least save the AWP. So a silver lining there, a diamond in the rough But Fnatic, they find themselves 5 rounds behind. They've got no money to expend into this round. So I imagine they're going to force down about 2k. But I don't see them force buying up behind the AWP.
Yeah, as I said, again, even with the $2,900 loss bonus, it's not going to be enough. They didn't even get the bomb plant, but that would have only allowed them to have about 3,800 each, which isn't really enough for a buy unless you have a couple of relegated UMP players who want to go for that utility, because the rifle players definitely can't. Now going into this one, as you say, a bit of a buy around the AWP. They will be on for the full buy next round regardless. Although Crims doesn't have a huge amount of cash in his pocket, considering he did only get the AWP from the previous round. No loss bonus from that save. Only $1,000 he has remaining, but he will get, 4,400 after this. Keo tagged up a little bit, but nothing significant. We'll just drop on back here. He isn't solo this time. He has Nico to support with the AWP towards upper, so either way, FaZe Clan utilising this double AWP very, very well for the time being. And an aggressive position from Alu up close towards main. This could be dangerous. He's smoked in deep, but they're going to cross right through it. They still have this AWP on Crims. He's got to be a bit, scared of this, because he can't afford to go down so early, because that will allow Fnatic to burst out onto the site. But he repositions, gets himself a better angle. Pop dog control still focused by Rain, and now Crims, he's going to peek out aggressively. Rain knows exactly what he's done. He's baited out a push, goes to the wallbang, doesn't land, but he goes for a follow-up shot. Finally, Alu is going to strike.
Carragher was tagged down low, but he can still deal with Olof. And JW picked up the AWP, and he's going to be looking to show his talents. Finds that first on a Rain, but still got more players to contend with. Carragher's pushed down in towards Ivy. The rotate already come on through. As you can see, Nico on the site, and then there's Alu, who is on fire. Train is his map right now. Dennis and Flusher finding themselves 2-on-4. They're trying to juggle the AWP round, but Flusher going to go down. Dennis through the smoke does dispatch of Keo, but still 1v3. Spinning on around with the Deagle. Shots raining in from all sides. He will go down, and that is FaZe to find themselves 7-1. And could we be seeing a repeat of yesterday, Hugo?
Yeah, or a polar opposite of the previous map, it seems. Just the complete shutdown. And yeah, Fnatic, again, another team statistically good on train, but seem to be having their issues as of late. Couldn't take down G2, only got 5 rounds, and now going up against a far more well-versed team over on this map. FaZe are, again, shutting them down. We do have a buy from Fnatic, but the lack of AWP is going to be very, very apparent here on the T side. And the pop dog control, it comes back to haunt them once again. First it was MBK, now it's Rain. And Flusher, he is going to be able to get the refrag, but it's still good damage done as 2 players of Fnatic are extremely tagged down. Carragher not spotting that Ivy control, but Alu will spot the main control. A quick jump shot there as Dennis is found mid-air. JW close on the other side of the smoke, going to be able to punish, but it's Keo right back on the trigger. It's instantaneous trades here from FaZe Clan. They are not allowing anything from Fnatic. And even Carragher, while he is smoked off, he can completely spot Olof crossing here, as there's a little gap just in the bottom right here. Unless Olof jumps over, which would make the sound cue, Carragher's going to be ready for this spray down. Olof, I think he realizes it. Bait peeks, Carragher sprays away, flushes 1 HP in the meantime, and FaZe, they are set to close out this round.
Yeah, Flusher limping around, missing a couple of limbs, carries the bomb down through Pop. No one's going to be here right now. As Keo falls back over towards Old Held, and they also hold very, very passively with Carragher, leaving Nico over towards that B site, playing the anchor and keeping someone on B, not opting to over-rotate or fall into the trap that they very well could. It does mean that Fnatic, if they try to make their way out towards this A site, still going to be walking into 2 players. If they go for the fast rotate over towards B, then you've got Nico there, who is well-versed in closing out these 1-on-2s. As Smoke going to throw even more spanners in the works. At this point, it's just a collection of them building up. But Olof on the entry does deal with Carragher. And oh, Flusher's going to rub Kiyoshima's back for him, then takes his head clean off with the AK. Now it's all on Nico 1v2. And I was saying he was well-versed in clutching these out. Right now, he's going to be more than well-versed. He's got to have a whole song and dance about it. And already, he's in through connector. Smoke is down and denied for the time being. There's no more utility left. Flusher's up close and personal in the smoke. And Nico waiting for it to dissipate. As it does, going to get caught switching weapons. Flusher finds the frag, and that is it. A round from nowhere. Fnatic find themselves with a second. Much needed at that.
That's such a Flusher play, though, just walking out through the smoke, killing Kiyoshima, and sitting in a smoke with 1 HP. It's a great play to make, because it's very unlikely that the AWP will be spamming shots through that, nor will he want to give away his position even with a rifle. So a very clever play from Flusher. Playing in the smoke is going to allow him to pick up the round, and Fnatic 2-7. Still keeping this one going, but it is a long road, and the fact of the matter is FaZe are going to be just on the edge of resetting the economy of Fnatic, which could really upset this T side. I mean, if they lose this round, their money is going to be in a horrible position. The AWP will be thrown back to JW after the fast peek from Olof. Does not find anything. But the fast peek from Carragher up towards Ivy only receives a bit of flashbang. He gets whitened, backs off towards the back of the Ivy position, and still relegated onto this SMG, but he can get damage done with it. It's Fnatic to take this one slow, though. They push the players up towards Ivy, and inside of A main. If we look at the position of the bomb there on the minimap, it's actually rotating back and down through the T hall. So this could be coming back towards an A side take, it seems. And with the utility that they have on some of these players, it's looking more and more likely to be A by the second. But look at the position of Nico. I think JW knows.
JW, the man with ears like a... Oh, I don't know what animal as good he is, but he's got the finest, I can tell you that. Peeking around the corner. Trying to check this. Nico's in the corner though, and he's got to watch out. Nico's going to round it, finds the first, and down goes JW as well. Crims is there to return. Fast on the trigger to equalize that back out. It's a 1 for 2. Nico doing massive damage with that UMP. But Olof, he's been the problem. He's been causing a lot of issues over towards Ivy. Peeks on out, but Alu guillotines him before he can find anything. Dennis and Crims 2v4. What looked like it should have been an easy round for Fnatic, being flipped on its head thanks to some very early entries in from Nico to turn this around. Now it's Crims and Dennis trying to secure this A site, and they're pushing on out. Crims doesn't land that first shot. That smoke misses, and that's going to allow Carrigan just completely bypass it. Now it's all on Dennis, who walks into the waiting arms of Carrigan into the stream of bullets because he cannot bear his existence any longer. Down he goes, 8-2 in favor of FaZe.
That's unfortunate there. And Carrigan upgrading from a UMP to an AWP, that's over 4 times the price. That's a lot of money there he has saved. As Fnatic are now relegated down to these pistols, we're going to see FaZe back on the double AWP with actually Carrigan and Alu picking it up. This time not Nico over towards that B site. Find his keepers, loses weepers. Carrigan's going to be taking that gun towards Ivy. And a fast push from Rain, taking his pop door control, mollying out into main, so Fnatic can't even stop him from getting into that position. And it is still being a nuisance, Harry. We talked about Fnatic's real lack of control towards pop dog on the T side previously in the map we saw yesterday, and it is continuing. And look, there we go. Rain's just going to shut down 2 of them. He's even got enough ammo for a 30. We'll hear the drop as well, expecting this push out into the open. And Crims, it's just going to be cannon fodder. Another shot going off, and Rain collapses it with a 4K. It's just going to be perfect. I mean, right now, Fnatic are just not getting anything done. And this pop dog control that we continually bang on about, FaZe are just completely ruining them.
Yeah, and really when you look at Fnatic to buy into this round, it's going to be too fantastic, all things considered. Very limited in terms of their utility. Olaf will be picking up a UMP just so he can forego the firepower in favor of a full utility belt. But he's the only player on the team with much. They do have 4 smokes, so we could see that push that we were on about in through pop. But Kio's going to go aggressive. They switch up the pace, and no one's there to trade things out. Flusher goes down early on, and already that's a man advantage. Sees Dennis out through pop dog. There's no smokes as they just go into this site dry. Nothing in the way of FaZe, but for the time being, it looks like it might be paying off. Saying, and Nico quick to find one out of JW. Carrigan's here as well, but he can't quite land the flick. Down goes Nico, and they're actually making this work. Kio and Arlu 2v3 to retake this A site.
It may have been dry, but they slid on right in as Fnatic now have control. The bomb should be planted in just a second as well. Crims will get that down as we can see Alu strikes back in with another kill. Quick one return from Crims. Kio will be dropped and they know exactly where Alu is. A footstep's going to be heard as well as he peeks out, but Dennis is too high up. Fnatic will take the kill. 3-9. It's going to be at least drawn back slightly for the side of Fnatic, but it's a long road to go as FaZe will have another buy into their pockets. The economy still looking okay as well here for the CT side, but this will be their last one. So actually if Fnatic can double down and take 2 in a row, something they've not been too accustomed to doing this map, they may be able to force FaZe into eco and eventually get back into this match with a few more rounds on the T side. Because while it's looking dire right now, if they pick up maybe a 10 to 5 or a 9 to 6, this could actually be a really okay half for Fnatic. I say really okay, but I mean really good.
Yeah, already though, off to a fairly poor start as Ali finds one. Carrigan just having no luck with the AWP, missing everything. He's, oh, okay, that's 4 shots now. And Olaf sneaking in the meantime, going to be able to deal with Nico. Carrigan finally remedying his previous mistakes, does get 2, but then there's Dennis to trade. And he's going to be going huge on the entries, gets himself a second. He's hungry to pick up a couple more rounds. Olaf has sneaked all the way up through Ivy, but will be punished by Rain, leaving this on Dennis. 1v2, Dennis the Menace in the back line, and Alu, well, he's going to be the player coming out on top. Takes him down 3-10, and ultimately no money left once again. Seems to be a popular phrase when you speak about Fnatic. They will just have to bite the bullet here, go for the eco, or alternatively force buy up, and they're going to do that, meaning if they lose this, no money for the last, and we're going to be seeing a 3-12 scoreline, the polar opposite of the first game. Yeah, but
I do understand this force as much as it is difficult, because the thing is, if they do eco this one and then go for the buy next round, there's even less chance of them picking up 4, because this it is trained. You can just rush B, and they are going to be seeming to be doing that as they storm right out onto the site. Flusher already being spotted, but Keo doesn't care. He just takes the first kill, spraying away, dropping onto the site, but it's Alu to support as he rotates back into the connector. 2 for him. Keo's not done though. He's still alive. Pistol's going to be out, and that can be dangerous, as well as a nade flying on in. Oh, but Dennis in through the smoke too. A nade to bounce right on the back, and Rain spraying away, and the smoke will even deny the bomb plant, and that is huge. If that bomb went down, we would have a lot more money for Fnatic in the final round of the half, but now look at them. 2 to 2.5k. This is not enough for a full commitment to a buy. They just have to force things up for the final round of the half. And as you say, the polar opposite of last map looking to come into play.
Yeah, I mean, normally you say this map is, you know, DE Train, emphasis on the Rain part, but right now it's DE Tralu, as he's doing absolutely insane, putting in so much work for FaZe. That AWP has been everywhere Fnatic go, they just can't get away with it. Well, this time they'll be buying up Deagles, heading out towards A, lots of aggression. This is something FaZe haven't seen just yet. How are they going to adjust to this? Well, Crims gets one out on a Rain early on, Dennis chiming with another with his Deagle, and in the blink of an eye, this A site actually going to go the way of Fnatic. They're doing a good job of holding on to it though. They've rotated players in very, very aggressively. Not going to allow these pistols to work their way up close, but it doesn't matter. They scavenge some rifles. Karrigan now going to find himself 1v2. Dennis though, tagged down low. JW isn't looking too healthy either, and Karrigan just running around like a madman. He's mid-air, but he doesn't care. Jumping around, gets the kill with the UMP, and now it's all on Dennis. 1v1, 63 HP on Karrigan. A UMP in hand, but the bomb is going to go down, courtesy of Dennis in this one-on-one.
6 HP is just so little. Karrigan has full utility set as well as a kit, and only 1 bullet from this UMP that he can just sprint around with and jump, as we've already seen so far. This is going to be perfect, but he's not expecting the post-plant from Dennis being so deep. He's just going to jump right on it. I commit to it. He's going to be fully defusing, and Dennis has no idea. Oh, just in the last second though, he will stop him. And that won't be the Ninja Defuse, but a great performance regardless from FaZe, even though Fnatic do pick up the last one. But we will just be heading into a quick break, and then we'll be back to see if the comeback is real for Fnatic. What a start from FaZe, and frankly it's looking like it may be a finish too. 11-4 on the first half, and Fnatic really not getting their foot in the door on their T side.
No, I mean, it was off to a bad start immediately. If you remember, that pistol round did not work out. They lose that early on, and as we were saying, they're so dependent on kind of confidence heading into this. It went from bad to worse for them, and they just struggled to get out of that rut. I mean, the second that pistol round goes underway, they do a bit of a questionable strat trying to play the chance game where they had Olaf and JW sat over towards Ivy. And, you know, while that's a good idea to have a player coming in on the lurk, having 2 there, whilst it does open up the possibility to trade, they separated anyway, and the retake in towards B was incredibly fast, so it left the guys on site in a 3-on-5.
Yeah, I like what they had there, but you've got to take into account as well, if you're Fnatic, that B is so easy to retake. As you say, it was so fast. These players can rotate instantly through connector, and even the B players on the pistol round, they just sit back towards the back of CT spawn and push in instantly. So they can work out, you know, just after seconds of being on that retake that, oh wait, there are only 3 players here, chances are we're being flanked. And we saw, I think it was Kiyoshima turn around a connector and just do work. So yeah, really unfortunate. They don't even get a single kill in that pistol. And that wasn't even the only thing. Fnatic didn't seem to round 2 rounds together. Every time they got one, it was a reset straight after, other than the final round, obviously. But just not being able to build out their economy, that is the issue. We saw so many force buys, so many ecos, so many quasis, and so many saves. Fnatic just not being able to wrap rounds together was the detriment of that half.
Yeah, that, and you know, one other key position we spoke about a lot. It affected them the other day and it affected them this time, and that's of course pop dog control. We saw Rain was playing that time and time again, and whenever it meant they came split on towards A, the reason why it works so much better even with these guys is just the fact that you have Alu, who of course can then hold down the push in through A main. Having him there means they can't then play off the spawn to try to get Rain before he crosses into Pop Dog in the first place. And that was kind of how they dealt with it when they were playing up against G2 the other day. This time, though, with FaZe, they can't do that. Alu was on fire, and when he's landing his shots, you don't want to be peeking him, right? And trying to give him that free frag early on. So every single time, you just saw him locking down A main. As a result, they just completely gave it up. And whenever they tried to push in through Pop, Rain mopped them up, no problem.
Yeah, and just to clarify on that as well, it's such aggressive main control. It's so difficult to even get onto the A site, let alone, you know, pin to the Pop Dog go. We saw Nico a couple of rounds pushing with the UMP. So it's stuff like that, you know, that really caught Fnatic off guard. Got to take into account, though, there is a possibility for a comeback. This is a very heavily CT-sided map, one of the most, in fact, alongside Nuke, I guess you could say. And Fnatic are a team renowned for insane comebacks, but this roster seems to be having their struggles. Yes, they picked up the first map. Yes, they were dominant. They took a 12-3 half, which they eventually closed out 16-10. But still, FaZe are 11-4 up. This is going to be a really hard train for Fnatic to get back into this matchup.
Yeah, I mean, you know, thankfully, they went for the Ninja Diffuser in the last round. I mean, that was really the kind of thing that's allowed them to pull this back, even in the slightest sense. 11-4 at least saves them from being in a situation we saw FaZe in on the last map, which is if FaZe win the pistol now, they're going to find themselves 14-4 at best. You know, that's if they don't manage to lose out to the Force Spies. But yeah, so they do at least have safety from that. Early on, we're going to be seeing Flusher go aggressive at B, backed up. His teammate there, and actually this push going to be coming on through. Bomb is just holding back for the time being. They haven't dedicated over towards B as they look to hold, trying to see if they could have found anything early on. It did present itself, but they couldn't land the shots, and now we're actually going to be seeing that Bomb double on back over towards Pop and potentially out onto A.
Yeah, one player's taken Pop Dog control back. I think that was Kerrigan over there. Well, the rest of them, they are going to be making their way deep inside of A main just to go for this split onto the A site with Nico controlling over towards Ivy. So a nice setup here. They're going to have the smokes and flashes, at least on Kerrigan as well, to get them out onto this open site. And actually going to be joining up towards the Ivy position as well. So without any smokes or flashes towards here, this could be dangerous because Kerrigan's not near them at all. But at least he can put support in through the Pop Dog, throwing in those smokes and flashes over towards the top in the B halls. JW is going to be deep smoked over towards Ivy, but still he's got a lot to do because we've got 3 players sneaking their way up. I think you'll hear them though. First shot comes out, Kiyoshima trades and a USP grab. They can commit in deep in towards this site. Fnatic still have plenty of players in the wings though, and they haven't even backed off for the retake. They want to hold this site to the last man as Kyo drops Prims to the floor, and Dennis rotates back in through the CT spawn. We have mainly CT control from Fnatic, and that will deny the bomb plant. Great stuff from Dennis. The Pistol Master himself spamming away, looking for a third, but it's Flusher to take it away, as Alu's now the last man standing, but nothing found for FaZe. As Fnatic, they dominate that pistol round. Don't even allow the bomb plant from the T side.
Yeah, I mean, there were a lot of things that went right for Fnatic. Dennis, especially retaking in from Ivy, a position that they presumed was clear, especially when you have Olaf railing shots in from, you know, kind of around CT. They imagine that's where the only player is going to be. He denies the bomb plant, finds the second, does loads of damage out on Uali, forces him back, and that is going to be them to pick this up. And we spoke a lot about what if FaZe get the pistol. If Fnatic get it, as they have, they can now potentially haul this back to a 7-11 scoreline. Let's see if that's going to be possible, however, as FaZe, they have bought down. Trying to make something happen here with the Force Spine. Smoke isn't going to deny Kerrigan the peak. Doesn't find anything on the back of it, though. Bomb's going to be over towards B for the time being. They have 4 players on A. The Swedes going to opt to stack this A site. Flusher, the anchor, over at B. Just waiting for FaZe to potentially show their head. And instead, they're going to fall on back, taking this very passively.
Yeah, seem to be unsure on where they want to commit. Kyo can throw that smoke out of the upper, and that will allow Alu to at least push out with a bit of defense, but with so many players in the vicinity of A, FaZe are going to have a real tough time trying to get this bomb down, because I can imagine Fnatic will be denying it as much as possible, like pushing aggressively up through the edges of the smoke. I don't think a bomb plant can even happen in this position, and Crimsy's going to remove another head with the USP, doesn't even need his rifle or his SMG there, as he finally switches to the UMP, drops Alu as well. 2 players remain. These Deagles, surprisingly, not something I'm used to saying, not having much effect for FaZe. Fnatic seem to be shutting them down, and while Rain will run out onto that B site, the bomb needs to join him and needs to hurry the hell up, but it will be dropped. Olaf finds that, looking for the final one as well, and Rain will be dropped as well. So it's going to be clean for Fnatic. They keep everyone alive, and Harry, could we be seeing one of those legendary comebacks?
I mean, we could very well be seeing just that, but let's not get too ahead of ourselves just yet. I mean, it is the pistol and then the respective 2 conversions you can get on your anti-ecos. We are going to be seeing them with 3 UMPs still in play. The possibility to farm up a nice bit of money. Olaf being someone I really liked in that, doing a lot of damage with the scout, finding a couple of frags, and just softening up the already squishy FaZe clan for the rest of his teammates to capitalize on. This time, just Glocks across the board as they make their way through the tunnels over towards B.
Yeah, this is just an attempted bomb plant. Close position from flusha is going to be good for at least getting damage off, but if they can just overrun him, he will be in a real tough spot, and they should be able to get a bomb down. That nade will just silence them, and he sprays away with the UMP. So much cash for this man. The pistol's out. He's got the ace. It will be Fnatic to close out the round, as you would expect, but flusha doesn't even want a bomb plant. He's up to 9 grand in round 4. That is crazy. He can buy up anything he wants, but I think Fnatic are likely going to stick with this bonus round. Now, we saw this as well previously over on the last map. The issue is with this is sticking with a bonus round when FaZe are 11 to 7 up is very dangerous because it could grant a free round to this T side. They will relieve a bit of the pressure though, because JW does buy up the orb, but this could come back to haunt them.
I like the idea of going for it now. It means that they can get a feel for how FaZe are going to be playing this T side without sacrificing too much, as if they'd fully bought down, and they've got plenty of money to expend already. You can see that Karrigan's going to go aggressive in through Ivy. It will be met with resistance, but the trade's going back and forth, and ultimately Dennis with the Famine showing you don't even need an M4. Keo does spot out his feet underneath the train, but does nothing more than tickle them as he tries to get out of there. Keo still on the site, 1v3, goes to Sprout on the first flush, it will fall. Now it's Olaf and Dennis. 1v2, and Olaf going to be going up to oh, okay, Keo, what are you doing? That's a nice shot out onto Olaf. Now it's all on Dennis. Both these players tagged extremely low. Smoke's going to go down. Dennis does have the bomb. No, he doesn't. I mean, Keo's got the bomb, and then Dennis going to fall. Down he goes. Keo, that was insane. He's going to get the triple, and he picks the round up, 12 to 7. 5 rounds to the advantage now of FaZe, and it was a round that looked like Fnatic had that in the bag from the beginning.
I was wondering why Keo wasn't reloading when he was about to fight Olaf, and then he tapped him in the face with 2 bullets. That's confidence, if it shows you anything. Great aim on the man. I'm shocked. FaZe are going to be in this one, but again, as we say, that was a bonus round for Fnatic, so they can rebuy it. Olaf is even going to be on this AWP, so not giving it over to JW, strangely enough, but the man himself is very good with that gun. As you can see, FaZe, they are just going to be set up slowly outside of A, not committed just yet. Taking their sweet, sweet time. But Fnatic with this orb can be dangerous considering FaZe don't have one of their own.
Yeah, taking it slowly right now. And it doesn't look like Karrigan's going to be the player to try and make his way in through Ivy, spotting out the initial point of contact, which is going to be JW, who does only have the M4 this time around. And as he pushes on through, he's going to be very close on his heels, and now making his way through the smoke will be flashed back for the time being. It's actually now the push to come in on towards A as the smokes go down. Olaf to find the first JW deals with Karrigan on the flank, but Ollie's been able to get in through Old Hell. Nico finds one out of Crims. The trade's going back and forth, leaving a 2-on-3. And actually, Holly through the smoke, there's no stopping this man. Down goes JW. It's a 2-on-2, quickly turned into a 1v2 as it's all going to be on Ollie. Dennis capitalizing on a frag on a Keo, and Ollie peeks wide. flusha shuts him down, not going to give him a window of opportunity, and that will be Fnatic to find themselves with an 8th.
And there we go, that's a positive side of the bonus round, right? Because yes, they give away 1 to FaZe Clan, but they come back right in with a buy, and they shut them down as well. So even this T side now are getting reset so early on into the half, which means their money's going to be screwed, and Fnatic will be able to at least start their road to comeback. This force is expected from FaZe, considering they've got the double eco regardless of what they buy up here, but again, it now means Fnatic are likely going to be able to bring this up to double digits sooner rather than later, before FaZe even can commit to a full buy. So, Deagles, P250s, you name it, FaZe have got it. No armor on Keo as he saves a little bit. I'm not too sure why, considering he's not really the man to pull up the AWP, but maybe he's going to be putting it up for his team and dropping it over. But even so, I feel like Armor may be able to support him. Maybe a good decision. But let's see at least what he does with his money later in the map. As Fnatic, they hold on passive positions. The B control is very, very relaxed. We have flusha and Olaf holding on towards the back lines. This means FaZe are guaranteed a bomb plant if they want to commit to the site. And it seems like they will. Deagle's out. Olaf spamming away though. No one's actually taking him down. And Nico's going to be dropped. They need to get this bomb down before Fnatic start their rotations, because they are gifted a free site. Fnatic are just letting them have it, but flusha instantly denies too. Apparently not, as Rain does come back in with a couple of Deags. But that's only a small pullback for FaZe, considering there's still a massive advantage for Fnatic. The issue is Karrigan.
Yeah, he was on the flank. He was the one to watch out for, and it didn't work out for them last time. Going to be able to get one. Down goes Olaf. Back into a 2-on-2. Equalized out. Will be just dispatched by flusha. Ripped straight through his soft, squishy face, and now it's all on Rain, who's at the full mercy of JW with the AWP. Fnatic, they find themselves a 9th, but a lot of damage done there by FaZe.
Yeah, considering they only had a few pistols to play with, they do actually make it work. And now Fnatic going back in for the buy. Will be up against a full ecoing FaZe. I can't imagine more than a couple of pistols. Kio's going to rebuy that Deagle. Maybe that's why he was saving a bit of money. He does still have 3k, but so does Alu, who's going to be the man buying up the AWP anyway. So I imagine Kio just wanted to rebuy in this round or something like that. Either way, Fnatic still have the single AWP this time back on JW. It's being tossed around. JW's posted up towards Ivy. The jump cross, it should be safe. He'll spot it though. All a bit late on the reactions when he goes for the flick shot, but he's not going to be able to land it. As close up as Karrigan goes, he will chase him down with just a Glock in his hands, but Crims has retrieved the position, trying to support his teammate, gets himself one. JW takes down Aloe in the meantime towards main, and Crims, they've swapped positions. He's doing work. 2 for him, flicks back round, but it's Olof to steal the kill away, as Rain's now the last man standing. Bomb plant does come in as Fnatic release control of that B site, but they still retake it without losing a man. It's going to be 10 rounds here to the CT side. FaZe back on the buy in the next one with plenty of cash to work with, and AWP will easily be coming through.
Yeah, now at least they do get that bomb plant this time. Would have been nice to see them get it in the previous round as well. They could have a lot more to invest into this, but still, they grab on anywhere. 12 to 10. Fnatic making this comeback potentially a reality as they've almost equalized this out. Now let's not forget, right? This is essentially where Fnatic could potentially reset FaZe again and find their equalizer. If they win this, we see it go 11 to 12. FaZe have little to no money to invest in the next. We could see Kio potentially, buy down to about 2k, but even then that might net him what, like a Tech 9 in armor. Very little for FaZe taking to the next round if they lose this. So this is pivotal to deny Fnatic that equalizing round and start to chip away at their economy, because right now the Swedes are in danger of building up one hell of a bank. And breaking it on that CT side when you're playing as the T's is incredibly difficult.
Yeah, but look at the control towards Ivy. It's really none. JW might get timed here as he pulls out the smoke. Karrigan's already close rounding the corner. Takes the quick kill. Dennis in the meantime does drop Kio over towards main, but it's a small victory here for Fnatic as FaZe have got so much deep map control. Karrigan and Rain doing damage, but he will be mollied out just post-kill. As you can see now, 2 remain for either side. Alu even spots out Dennis there over on the site, so now he has a bit more information to work with. The flushes wrap back round towards the CT spawn, gives away his position with the spray, but FaZe has still got deep into the site, and they can do whatever they want here. They have the utility, they have the time, they can back off, they can commit towards B. We can see that already Alu started to wrap, and despite Karrigan still being committed towards A, and Alu is going to come and join him, he can reposition. He doesn't have to take the fight towards CT spawn. Just play it safe. Allow Fnatic to do their thing, and then both stacking the B site is good. Not for 2 reasons. One, if it is a B play, they're going to have the perfect remedy for that. But even if it is A play, they can fast rotate through Pop Dog. And look at Dennis, he's already doing that. Pushed up, lots of information gained. Flusher holding the connector in case they split back down towards the B site. And they are going to be walking right into the face of Alu, who has no clue.
Yeah, back turned. They're not going to be aware of this rotate. Down he goes. At this point, they can even deny the plant. It's all on Karrigan, who's got to sneak round. Sneaky beaky, like, try and plant that bomb. Dennis could be taking the peek. Karrigan will get the bomb down at least. A diamond amongst the rough for them here. Now he's got to try and clutch this out 1v2, and the gravity on this round, the amount of pressure on these players is insane. I mean, this is a pivotal round right here. This is where Fnatic can find their equalizer. And as they push towards this site, Karrigan's fallen all the way on back over towards Ivy, trying to loop around to protect this bomb plant, but it's obvious where it's planted for. They have a lot of angles left to watch. Flusher could be the player to spy out Karrigan, and he does so. He will falter, and as he falls, the possibility of Fnatic to find themselves this equalizing round arises. 12 to 11. Not much money into the next. As the defuse does come in, they get the bomb plant at least, which, like I said, is kind of a bit of a silver lining to take out of this.
They should be able to buy. Yeah, they have the loss bonus because they've been building up, because Fnatic have won 4 rounds in a row now. So FaZe Clan almost have a max loss bonus.
But that bomb plant was essential.
Very important. The thing is with that is you could tell that Karrigan had no idea where that last player was. He knew one was coming from Pop Dog because he just took down Ali, but he had no clue. He was throwing smokes everywhere. He was checking all the angles, and that's the thing. Fnatic playing it in a duo is very, very uncommon, at least for the retaking on trade. You typically, because there are so many positions to wrap around from, retake from different positions because you can get those crossfires and those trades easily. But FaZe not expecting it at all, and that's why Fnatic at least catch them off guard with the retake. But let's have a look into this one. It's still a pivotal round, but that one was far more so, as we see a fast play. Rain's already deep in the site. There's so many players on the other side of the smoke, but he's already taken 1 and 2. Kio's going to support him as well. Good stuff so far from FaZe, and the bomb will be down here for the T side, but JW is still a nuisance, a thorn in the side as he runs on in through the smoke. 1 for him, wrapping around towards the Olaf position. Will spot the shadow, but he doesn't hear the climbing up of the ladder. He has 4x3. He can't see the player above him. It's tunnel vision all over again. And a 2-on-3. It's Nico just to drop one. JW's finally going to spot him, but it's too little too late, even if he gets his frag.
And he's just trying to be... He's trying to be clever here, 1v4. They won't check this position because they think it's clear.
He could ninja.
And he's just waiting for them all to cross. If they check behind him, he will go down, but he's crossing to the side for the time being. And oh, okay. He is going to get spotted. I was going to say, if Nico didn't see that, I'd be worried. And now he's just looking to try and save. Does land the no-scope on a raid. Down it goes Rain, down goes Nico as well. He causes two players to die on the site.
That would have happened if Nico didn't spot him. That would have happened. They were too deep in connector. He could have easily jumped on that bomb. Double flash as well to work with. I honestly think that could have been this round. So unlucky on the timing for Nico, but you've got to give it to him for at least attempting that. Nothing else he could do. If he goes to the shot onto Nico and he sees him above him, okay, he gets one kill, then he gets chased down or he dies with the bomb. A nice, valiant attempt, but FaZe are back in this one, Harry. They've got 13 rounds. It won't be the equalizer that Fnatic wanted.
Yeah, flush it. Like, they try and change the pace, though. Order of the day. Could be some aggression over towards B. He's thinking about it, a little bit curious, but instead opts to play things safe. Now falling on back as the smokes once again raining towards this A site. And FaZe, if it ain't broken, don't fix it. Trying to live by that analogy as they make their way on out, but instead Olaf finds that initial frag, and already this A push completely dismantled. They opt instead to try and make something happen over towards B. Take the bomb over towards there. And even now they have second thoughts about that. Very undecided as to where they want to go. As, I mean, you know, they're going to start this off with a one-man disadvantage. Very little ground covered. They have very little info as to where anyone is on Fnatic, and it looks like they're still going to be setting up for this A play. But
the knowledge of Fnatic is great. They get the pick on A, and instead of just committing to the A play, they just double rotate two players off instantly, expecting either a fake or a quick readjustment from FaZe. As you can see, it was almost committed, but now they're doubling back on towards the A site, where they are meeting an onslaught of players. Flusher drops another. Two more remain here for the FaZe clan. It looks like a reset is just over the horizon as Karrigan and Kirishima remain. Not much utility left and not much hope as the control still remains heavily in the favor of Fnatic, but no, Karrigan takes it back down a notch. He does drop one quick player, looking towards connector for a second, but Flush is exposed and his teammate has already been dropped. One more refrag for Karrigan. He's just hunting, but Flush is just chasing him down round after round. Fnatic will do it. They're going to bring it back, and after a 4 streak and FaZe to find 1, the reset comes in, and that is pivotal, Harry, because look at the money now left on these guys. They built up that loss bonus. They accrued 2,900, which allowed them to get that round finally on the board after double eco with a force. But now, with Fnatic resetting that, we are seeing exactly the same as what we saw in the first half, but in reverse. FaZe can't wrap together rounds.
Yeah, the reset is a harsh mistress, and already we can see 3 players over towards this B site. Now slowing things down, it's Keo to try and kick things off. They've also got the flank in through Ivy, a very similar strategy to what we saw Fnatic try and do in the initial pistol round. Replicated here by FaZe. 2 players to head in through Ivy. Curious to see if they're going to use them on the lurk or to try and bait the rotates out early on. And actually, as that initial frag comes in, Rain goes down. Already this B play is just going to be dismantled piece by piece. Now 2 do manage to leak onto the site in the waterfall, but actually down goes Keo. Flush is going to go through length to deny the plant. 3 frags for him. It's all on Karrigan. I mean, that bomb plant would have been worth its weight in gold for them into this round. He's got a deagle left to play around with. 1v5 though. Very unlikely he can get onto that site and get the bomb down. It's crawling with Swedes.
There we go. Olaf will do it. I'd like to see their economy now, because I'm interested to see if they can even buy up. I think that bomb could have been the make or break, and yeah, it kind of was. Look, they've got. I wouldn't be surprised if they buy, just because they have 3 players who can, and 2 UMPs will be coming in. There we go. So yeah, a bit of a weak buy. Alu is throwing the AWP from Kiyoshima, so he actually has a little more than we expected. But even so, that was very, very close to not being a buy at all. It's very lucky they even got some damage off onto Fnatic. As we now go into this one, it's going to be 13-13. A make or break scenario for either team. Fnatic have a bit of a bank to play with, but nothing too heavy here for the CT side, whereas FaZe are completely crushed on the edge of an economical crisis. And it's all going to depend on who can pick up this crucial round to take it all the way to 14. 1 off of that point.
Oh, and the timing there just allows FaZe to sneak across. Olaf missing that. Means that right now, they do get control here for the time being, and actually Karrigan over towards Ivy, the only player who's really apart from the rest of the pack, just trying to draw attention, and it is working out. I mean, right now he's got the attention of JW and Olaf. I'm not sure these are the 2 players I would want the attention of right now, as they are deadly. Going to be Molotov on back, does cross though, and it's just looking to be that annoyance, that pest that stops Fnatic from rotating off of A, and it is going to be working out. I mean, Flash has had to fall back, opting to hold this very passively. Flash comes out, doesn't really work though, and it's going to mean it's a bit of a shooting gallery here for Flusher, who does get one. Quickly dealt with by Ollie, but he had to stand in the flames to line that shot up. As a result, he's tagged down extremely low. It's a 4-on-4, and Dennis is already hot on their heels, but he's going to get counter-flanked by Karrigan. as the hunter becomes the hunted here. He does hear him though, and now he's in the backline. He can cause so much damage. This is so unfortunate. Down goes Alu. Kio's able to get one more, but they pushed up so far. But he knows there's a player in the backline. Surely he heard him earlier on. Here he comes sneaking on in. Karrigan rounds the corner. Down goes Dennis. The trade comes in from Olaf. It's a one-on-one, but then there's Rain to clutch things out. And FaZe, they're going to pick themselves up a 14th.
What a crazy round there. Back and forth, but Rain will make it work. And that was exactly so crucial now, because Fnatic had a bit of a bank in their reserves to at least go for this buy to make it 14-14. But if it went on the flip side and Fnatic picked up that 14th round, FaZe wouldn't be able to buy here. They physically wouldn't have any money, and they probably just have to eco that round and allow Fnatic to pick up 15. So it's so important that actually FaZe managed to get themselves on the board here, so we can actually see an equal buy for such a close scoreline. Olaf, aggression over in Pop Dog. The issue that Fnatic had within the first half, he's now going to remedy with his own push. And while he won't go any more aggressive than need be, there's just FaZe Clan on the other side here waiting for the flash right down. He does spot them. They flash themselves though. That's unfortunate. As we just see one player on the other side, he'll drop out and reposition back towards main. An understandable reposition as they're aware of his position, but it's FaZe rushing down onto the B site. Rain with the opener. Quick rotations in from Dennis, but there's frankly nothing he can do. Fnatic are going to be in a really tough spot, especially with his Mag 7 on Olaf for the retake.
Not going to be ideal to say the least. Already Rain's gone so aggressive. He's in a great place to shut this down before they can even get so much as a couple of inches into the site. And already they're just going to fall on back and save. They're going to be playing for the overtime. 15-13 will be the scoreline, and they're relying on Olaf to find some damage with the Mag 7. Down he goes. Doesn't get so much as a foot in the door. Dennis does deal with Rain at least, which is a little bit of damage done.
But they need to keep 3 people alive.
Yeah, they have to.
That's the issue, because if they lose any more, their money is not going to be enough for them to drop over to Olaf and Flasher, which means they're going to be screwed for the last round. We'll have to see SMGs, we'll have to see Mag 7s, so they need 3 rifles. There's no point to chase here. FaZe can still rebuy. Unless Fnatic suddenly get 3 kills, it's not going to matter. So they will hold on to the guns. But as you say, overtime play now as FaZe managed to get themselves to 15. Fnatic, really difficult spot. Even with saving 3 players, they are going to be relegated down to a Mag 7 and a pistol. That's the economical crisis that we're seeing. So important that they kept those 3 alive, because that's going to be all they can really play for. The Mag 7, again, can be a bit of a wild card if you play that up close, you know, in positions like Pop Dog and main. It can be extremely vital. But again, forced to a retake with a Mag 7. Good luck, Olaf.
Yeah, instead he's going to go straight in towards Pop. Now, no one's watching this early on, and if he shoots up right now, could take advantage of this, but now the attention going to be focused on by both Nico and Rain. You know, arguably the 2 best aimers on the team just focused on this 1 point. Olaf, I wouldn't want to be peeking my head up here anytime soon, so he does make the right call to fall on back. Right now, it looks like FaZe over towards that B site once again. If it ain't broke, don't fix it. You can see that they've rotated an additional play around, as now it's Flusher and Dennis over here towards this B site. They've also got Crimson. Oh, down goes Olaf on that aggressive peek up through Pop. He will fall. The man advantage secured early on. JW next to falter out towards the A site as Karrigan's in the back line, wreaking some havoc. Crims does find the return at least, but this is fake. The rotate off of B. It's going to be completely right for the taking as FaZe just pour on in. Bomb's going to be going down any second now. Kio's already pushed up, denies the retake in from Dennis and FaZe. They might have just secured this one. It's all on Crimson Flusher, but saying that, they somehow pull this back to a 2-on-2. So I don't think we're done just yet, Hugo.
Still on. Flusher, we know he's a nuisance with that CZ pushing up close. Nico's on the other side, but it's just a game of timing. He wraps around at the same time, and that means Crimson will have no idea of the position of Nico. But will he know either? Yes, he does. Quick kill onto Crims. It's all onto Flusher. He has to clutch this one out. Fakes the bomb, but he does secure an AWP. Not the best for this kind of position as Rain spots him out. The Molotov goes out on the bomb, and that should seal the deal. No kit left for the man, and Nico, he's going to remove his head as well. It's going to be the round and the map to FaZe Clan. They take it 16 rounds to 13. They do not allow Fnatic to pull out that comeback. After a great second half, at least in attempting, they fall short.
Yeah, and it was really looking like they could have done it. I mean, it got incredibly close right down to the wire. And I think there was one defining factor that we saw for FaZe to actually pull that back, and that was that B site. It was held by Flusher. Occasionally you saw the support coming in, you know, from like JW to kind of assist in through Connector. But I mean, ultimately, when they go in for that push, they've been taking it so slowly on the lead up in those first couple of rounds with the rifles, heading in towards B, playing it very slow, taking the aim duels up against both Flusher and JW with the AWP, and it just wasn't working out for them, and it's because they were at the full mercy of those players playing the longer engagements. The second they realize they can just dart in quickly and get the bomb down, that's when we see them pick things up. On those last couple of rounds, all they did was hit B time and time again, and it worked out brilliantly.
It's so funny as well as we look at the two maps that we just saw. First was Fnatic with a dominant half, 12-3. FaZe almost brought it back, got to 10 rounds, and then Fnatic closed it out. Now we see the flip side. FaZe with a dominant first half, 11-4. Fnatic almost pull it back, up to 13 themselves, and FaZe closed it out. Very, very similar, but in completely different ways. So I actually think that was a really good series. Definitely the best series of today, because FaZe were really bringing the heat in that second map. I didn't think they'd be able to pull it back with such style, but they do make it work. And frankly, Fnatic, you've got to give them a great shout out for having such a nice attempt. Obviously, the economy was really a limiting factor coming into those last couple of rounds, especially with them only saving 3 rifles. I mean, we saw them instantly as soon as FaZe in that 28th round, 27th round, FaZe got that bomb down on B. Fnatic were looking to retake. Dennis looked into the connector and then he suddenly went, no, I can't do this. We need the money for the last one. We won't retake this. There's realistically no chance. So we have to hold on to the guns. And then, even with 3 rifles, because they only just got that reset going, they only had 2k loss bonus. So they couldn't even buy up fully. They had to drop a mag 7 and a CZ, which isn't enough for a final round. So I think great performance from both teams. And as a result, obviously that's going to affect the standings quite interestingly as well, with both teams picking up a map, splitting. As you can see, Fnatic is going to be in 7th place here, moving up from 9th, now 7 and 9 in their own. And FaZe hasn't moved a position as they take one map, as they still sit over on 6th, just bordering over in LAN finals as well. Obviously, we're about halfway through the Pro League, so there's still a few more weeks to go, so these are going to shift very heavily as we continue on. But Fnatic, at least, having a bit more of a performance, a team that we kind of looked at as more inconsistent, finally stepping up and taking a map off one of the top teams in the world.
Yeah, and I mean, what a spectacle as well from both teams. I mean, it was the day of comebacks. That's exactly what we saw. I mean, well, almost comebacks.
Almost comebacks, yeah.
Which, maybe isn't as impressive as a comeback, but still, I mean, I love a close game. And I mean, when it comes down to it in that one, I do just really feel like it was that B-side thing that ultimately mean that FaZe could have pulled it back, and that's exactly what they do. It was getting to the point where, like, Fnatic could have just walked away with it. FaZe didn't know what to do on their T side. It just grinded to a halt, and then it finally clicked that it was just B was the answer. They only had one guy there anyway, and it was Flusher, and he was kind of missing a lot of those shots. They first did it in round 21 when they tried taking the B site on an eco. Just didn't work out. They took the Angels with the Deagles. I actually remember you saying, why are they taking the aim duels? And they didn't need to. It ultimately meant they didn't get the bomb down, and that happened on 3 occasions, on which, I mean, it could have impacted, it did impact the economy heavily in the next round. And then they finally figure it out. Ultimately, they close out that series, and what a spectacle it was. Yeah. Both maps being incredibly close.
I think it's definitely true what you say about the economy. I mean, the issue was at the end of the day on that T side, especially the team's lack of ability to wrap rounds together, especially in the early stages for FaZe and even in Fnatic in their first half. Not able to wrap rounds together really screws over your economy on such an economy-based game. You need that money, you need those AWPs, especially on train when you need that AWP on T side to get yourself an opener. And that really did lead to the downfall of Fnatic. But again, sadly, that is going to be us done. Harry, thank you for joining me today and yesterday. It's been a lot of fun. I'm sure we'll be back here soon. But again, before we end the show, shout out as well to our partners and sponsors such as ESCA with the Mountain Dew League, Logitech and PaySafeCard for supporting this. They make this whole thing possible. This was week 6 of Pro League. We will be back next week obviously for some more broadcasts, so be sure to tune in then. We'll see you guys later.
ESL Pro League is brought to you in part by Logitech G.